Good morning, guys. It is the 22nd of September. It's very early in the morning here in the UK. I've just been watching a bit of BBC Breakfast to catch up on a bit of mainstream news to see what they're reporting or what they're not reporting, as the case is. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to point the camera at my TV and show you what I've just watched. I'm absolutely outraged by it. I think it's despicable for the BBC to censor this information. Now, I'm talking about the Piggate scandal. You've probably heard about it already. David Cameron allegedly putting his private parts in the mouth of a dead pig, which in my book kind of makes him some kind of necrophile bestiality fuckwit. That's our Prime Minister, isn't it? So this is an important story, I think, because it shows what kind of guy is running the country, what his personality is like, where his morals, his ethics lie. It's bloody disgusting. It's fucked up. So the story is, of course, across the whole media, international media. It's right across the world. It's all over social media. The only place that it's not being reported, funnily enough, is on the fucking BBC, which I'll show you right now, and then I'm going to compare it to another report by ITV, which again I've just recorded a few minutes ago, and there's quite a difference. Now remember that this is the corporate media, so anything they do report is sanitised and they're not going to really investigate it too deeply. But in the case of the BBC, it's like a very brief mention and then move on to the Great British Bake Off TV series. What? Just have a look. Okay, so I've got my camera pointed at the TV. I'm gonna press play. Now they're going through the this morning's papers. Now, pretty much every paper, I think, is reporting on the scandal, and just watch how little attention they give it. This is major news right across the globe.
Thank you, Sally. Just on the theme of when dignitaries meet sporting people, this is a picture that's in front, several of the papers. It's a great picture, this, isn't it? It's Prince William, and he's meeting the Wales forward, Jake Ball, at an official event for Wales in the Rugby World Cup. His capacity, of course, is he is, I think it's Vice President of the Welsh Rugby Union, which is why he is sort of supporting Wales when they play against England. So he's in that curious role, and a bit of beard envy going on there.
Our front page of the Daily Telegraph there, lead story is what we were mentioning with Steph earlier about Volkswagen. They're saying that millions of British motorists could be driving illegal cars that have been doctored to mask dangerous levels of emissions, and they say after Volkswagen admitted rigging pollutions tests. Samantha Cameron there on her way to London Fashion Week yesterday.
Several of the papers this morning, including of course the Daily Mail, they're focusing in on the Prime Minister. More of the revelations from the book by Lord Ashcroft, a number of new allegations both about ministerial affairs but also some private matters as well.
That's the way the Daily Mirror had been writing it up. Front page of The Independent, they're talking about an aftermath of an attack in Kobani earlier this month. Hundreds of...
And that's it. That's your lot. That's about as much information the BBC is going to give you about the scandal. Now carry on watching, because they actually spend more time speaking about the Great British Bake Off.
Their strike, they say, supporting the Kurds have reduced many buildings to shattered concrete. Excuse me.
Bless you.
So sorry, I couldn't warn you.
Doesn't happen very often. You recovered. I'll talk for a bit. This story here tickles me. You know this. We talk sometimes about not wasting food. It's a pet hate of mine. Hate waste. I like wasting things. And this is a story from she's Nancy Birtwistle, who is a former winner of the Great British Bake Off, and she says that kids, it's tea time at home. You shouldn't give them a menu. You just eat what you're given. And
so it's not, do you want spaghetti or cheese on toast?
Exactly.
Okay.
And they do different meals for each child. And also, you know, at the end of the week, eat the food in the fridge until it's empty and then fill up again.
Is that what you do?
So you
I've had enough of that. How crazy is that? Okay, so just for a bit of comparison here, this is the ITV breakfast show. I'm going to show you how they handled it. Now remember that this is corporate media, it is sanitised, they're not going to really dig in as deeply as the alternative and the independent media does. But still, just have a look at how they treat the story.
To sport now, back to Susanna and Kate.
Thank you very much indeed.
It's 6:35. Now, the Prime Minister is waking up to a second day of damning allegations made in this book, which is written by a former Tory donor.
Yeah, Lord Ashcroft is behind the biography that's serialised in the Daily Mail, and this morning's allegations focus on David Cameron's foreign policies. Yesterday's instalment made claims about the Prime Minister's student days. Well, our political editor, Sue Jameson, has been processing all of this at Downing Street. Those allegations have sent shockwaves through Westminster, I'm guessing, Sue.
Oh, absolutely, and still reverberating everywhere. But I think there's been a different reaction perhaps to yesterday and then to today. In a way, today's accusations are actually the more serious, that if you are quoting General Sir David Richards, as Ashcroft does in this book, and saying that David Cameron is naive and essentially incompetent when it comes to military policy, well, that's a very serious thing indeed for Number 10 to hear. We haven't had any reaction on that yet, but the General is saying that David Cameron has been trying to do in Iraq when it came to Libya and building up that alliance against Colonel Gaddafi, and also suggesting that America was astounded at the incompetence over that failed 2013 vote in the House of Commons extending airstrikes to Syria, which of course the Prime Minister lost. Even more embarrassing because we may have a similar vote in coming weeks. But of course it is the accusations of a personal nature yesterday, which is like meat, 5-veg and all the trimmings, to social media. And just imagine the Prime Minister having woken up to that, knowing that this book was coming out and knowing there was quite a lot of animosity between him and his former friend Lord Ashcroft, and I think that must have been extremely difficult. So rather than Downing Street say anything, they are relying perhaps on some of those who know David Cameron very well to try and mitigate some of the damage.
I don't think that there is significant substance in the allegations. They're not accusing him of doing monstrous things when he was a young man. They're not accusing him of being dishonest in his decisions that he made in Downing Street. You know, I'll tell you what, next week you're going to be talking about completely different things, and this will have been forgotten.
Well, it's an interesting point, isn't it, that Sir Anthony Selden makes there, because, you know, memories can be short, but at the moment, Sue, as you say, today's allegations potentially damaging to the Prime Minister's authority, but yesterday's allegations excruciatingly embarrassing. He hasn't said anything yet. How do you think this will now be dealt with?
Well, I think they are trying to say absolutely nothing at the moment. They've said they're not going to dignify it with a response. I think they're probably hoping that the book itself is going to be discredited, that the authors won't be able to provide enough evidence to persuade people this happened. But the trouble is also when you've got social media, you cannot hoover up the pictures in people's minds, all the innuendo, all the thousands and thousands of tweets. It can't be as though they never existed. And I do think for the Prime Minister that is going to be very hard, because no matter what he does, there'll just be that little thing of his student days following him around, and that must be horribly uncomfortable. And I suppose we could all look back at our past, actually, may not have done those sorts of things, but have something there that you think, oh, I hope no one ever finds out about that, or I wish I hadn't done that.
Right. Okay, Sue. Thanks very much indeed.
We're all thinking now.
You sort of opens up a can of worms inadvertently there. Sue Jameson, our political editor, reporting from Downing Street. Thanks very much indeed. Just coming up to...
So, hope you can see the difference there between the two reports, it's pretty blatant, isn't it? I mean, the BBC spend maybe 7 seconds, whatever, saying, they're like, oh, move on. And then ITV, although sanitised as it is, do actually spend a bit of time on the story and give some indication of what's going on and what's being said. So really, I just want to highlight the level of censorship at the BBC. I'm absolutely outraged by it. I had to shoot this video for you because I assume that most people who watch this, if you're even in the UK, you're not going to be up at 6 in the morning recording two news broadcasts simultaneously, so you can compare them side by side, just the way that I like to analyse the news. So I hope that this has been a benefit to you, but I still wonder why the hell they don't really give it any attention. Is it possible they've got a D notice and that's why they're not reporting on it? Could it be that they're just afraid because the government did threaten to make life difficult on the BBC for the way that they handled the general election, didn't they? The government said that they were going to have a close look at the BBC and make some major changes to it because it didn't play ball in the way that the government wanted to. So maybe the BBC are now watching what they say even more closely and afraid to report certain facts or allegations. Could it be that because Downing Street haven't issued a statement, they just don't know what to say? The BBC don't have a clue what to say about it because they haven't been told what to say. So many of these journalists at the BBC just parrot what they've been told. The whole career of these journalists depend on cozying up to politicians to get the statements, to get the interview. So is it that they just haven't been told what to say, so they don't know what to say? They're afraid of stepping out of line. But something is going on. There's got to be some reason why they are practically ignoring this story while the rest of the media, the global media, are talking about this. Not just the pig stuff, but the other allegations, the drug use, the serious stuff. Come on, what's going on with the BBC? And that's the point of this video, is just to highlight the censorship, because you probably haven't got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch the news and record 2 channels to analyse it. So if you haven't done that, I hope you've found this video of benefit, and I do thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.